Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. Today we're going to be taking a look at something a little bit different than my normal. For anybody that's been following my channel for a little bit, typically I stick to steam locomotives, older diesels, mostly American. I've dabbled a bit in European, German, but typically I've avoided the electrics. The electrics we have available for the United States are just boring, for lack of a better term. It's actually the primary reason I don't fiddle with diesel locomotives, because they're kind of boring. There's not a whole lot to... once you get going, there's not a whole lot to do, but there's not a lot to see. There's not a lot of motion. There's not much to capture the attention, but... And the same can be said for the large majority of electrics available for England. It's kind of the same story. There's not a whole lot going on with them. German electrics, a little bit different. There's just not a whole lot of the interesting ones available. Same could be said for Switzerland, which is what we're looking at today. We're on the Bernina line, or a portion of it. We're going to be taking a look at a Swiss example, a RhB Ge 6/6. God, say that fast. A 6/61. There are two 6/6s, so not to confuse them. There's a 1, there's a 2. The 2 is part of the RhB enhancement pack on Steam, which is a pretty decent other DLC pack I'll get around to looking at some point, especially now that I've gotten most of the Swiss stuff that's available from Steam. A lot of really kind of neat stuff, kind of something different, but this is not available from Steam. This is from SimTrains, Train Sim, SimRail, something like that. I forget. I'm 85% positive I picked this up from Just Trains, to be perfectly honest. They're not the ones that created it. They're just the ones that, or they're one of the websites that hosts this pack. There are two different packs. We will be looking at both packs because it is essentially the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. They're expensive. For what they are, they're really expensive. They're not bad. By any means are they bad. They're really, really, really nice. But they are two separate packs for essentially the same thing. And they're really quite expensive for what they are. I think the packs are like 30, 40 bucks. It's pretty expensive for something that doesn't come with a route. Matter of fact, I am not on the route that these are supposed to be on. I don't own that route. That route is a $60 route. But anywho, what are we looking at? We are looking at the Ge 6/6. It's a class of electric locomotives. Swiss electric locomotives. I know, crazy. They're also known as the Crocodile. These are not the only thing known as the Crocodile, and if you go looking up Crocodile for Train Simulator Classic, you're going to come up with about 3 or 4 different options. 2 of the 3 are standard gauge, I believe. And then these are narrow gauge. These are meter gauge. So just throwing that out there. Be sure you know what you're looking at. Otherwise you'll end up with something you can't use or something you weren't looking for. But naturally I'll put the link in the description for these. Oh heck, I had it written down somewhere. If I can figure out where I got these. Boogity boogity. You know what's crazy? I've got Google. I was right. Just Trains. So you can pick these up from Just Trains. They are $28. Or for this pack in particular. So there are 2. like I said, there are two. You will have one which is kind of the operational set today. So two of these are in operation today. Subtract the FahrBAR car here, but the first pack that I know is $28. You'll get the brown. You'll get this historic box car, and then you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 different passenger cars here of various states and builds. But that comes with that, and then there's a blue. That's interesting. Once again, the turntables and train simulator don't like to show up, but you'll get a blue for the second pack, which is the 75th anniversary Glacier Express. This is actually a locomotive that got scrapped pretty recently. It came out of service, or it came out of off of static display and was used to pull the Glacier Express train, and then I believe it had a massive gearbox failure or something, and the country opted to scrap it. I think some of the parts were used for the two active locomotives, but this one was scrapped. This locomotive down here is actually still in service, if I remember right. I have that pulled up as well. It is somewhere down here. I know, list, yeah, so 414 and 415 are in active service today. So this is an active locomotive that you'll get. Now these are not dynamically numbered either, which kind of upset me. For as expensive as the packs are, I kind of expected them to be dynamically numbered so that you could make more use out of them if you wanted to, say, backdate some of the Swiss routes or something, but they are unfortunately not. But such as life goes, I guess. But the pack number 2, you'll get the blue 412, which has been scrapped, and then you'll get a set of different coaches, Pullman Express coaches. Again, I don't know the proper term for any of these. I just know you'll get kind of what looks like a storage baggage car or something back here. Looks like it's got, you know, water, some bicycles, and of course a chair car. Boy, some of these characters look a little creepy. Chair car, kind of a diner, another chair, and another chair, a nicer chair. But these cars will come with the blue. These excursion cars will come with the brown. So take note of that if you're looking at these packs. If I remember right, I got lucky, and it was one of those really odd times that Just Trains did a sale on something I wanted, and they had a sale on these. That's why I have both packs, because believe you me, I didn't spend the $30 on each one. $60 for these two. That's, in my opinion, a lot of money for what you're getting. But again, like I said, they're not bad. So history-wise, these were built between 1921 and 1929, so fairly old. Some pretty early electrics. So you're kind of a general-purpose locomotive, designed for going through the Swiss Alps. They deal with these excruciating grades that are all over the Swiss routes, as you can see with that going back there. That immediately starts going vertical. And these traverse pretty well. Top speed's about 35 miles an hour, 34, 35 mile an hour. Most were retired in the 70s and 80s, I believe. With, of course, the 2 still in active service. 4 are on static display. The rest have been scrapped. Power output is about 1,100 horsepower, 43,000 foot-pounds of tractive effort. So pretty stout little locomotives. You think about it, these are not that big. This is a pretty small narrow gauge system. I mean, look at this dude. He stands up pretty tall in there. Well, these are not huge locomotives by any means, but pretty decent. They are they're driven by drive axles. This is kind of what this is where my appeal comes from. It's almost like a steam locomotive. So your electric motors will drive this system right here, and then it's connected by a main drive rod to your the rearmost set of drive wheels, which are then connected with a main rod, or with a connecting rod. You got a main rod going to the back, and a connecting rod here. So all drivers are driven, but they're driven by way of much the same of a steam locomotive. So it's a very appealing locomotive to watch in operation. It's very cool. It's very different. Not completely unheard of in the United States. I know the Pennsylvania Railroad had a handful that were like this, called jack screws and whatnot, but the Swiss opted to call theirs crocodiles. So what else is crazy to talk about? Like I said, kind of a general purpose locomotive, freight, passenger, anything and everything that could be done. Yeah, that's about it. So let's tinker with it. Let's hop in it. So actually, before I hop in it, I am going to go ahead and point it out. This locomotive is identical to this locomotive. Paint scheme's the only thing that's different. Sounds, cab setup, details, everything else is quite literally identical. Copy paste. Minus the actually no, I think that placard is the same too. Minus of course the 412 RhB. That's different for that one, since this was a special, the Glacier Express. Oh, LGB. It's a garden model railroading, but I do not read that language at all. Anywho, let's go back. So detail-wise, these are actually really nice. These are definitely some of the better looking electrics that we've gotten. It's really nice overall. A lot of nice detail. I don't quite understand I don't know if that's supposed to be weathering. The way that color swap is right there, it's very noticeable. A lot of fine detail. I have no idea what most of these bells and whistles are. I will also say I didn't see a manual for these. For those of you that speak English, you're gonna have an interesting time trying to figure this thing out right off the bat. Now once you do figure it out, it's a fairly easy locomotive to operate, but nothing's in English, and I didn't find a manual, so you're kind of on your own. It's definitely a complaint there. Well, a complaint. I don't want to sound like a jack off, but it is a bit of a complaint. There's not a manual in multiple languages to kind of break down how in the world to make this thing run that I noticed. So, but it is really nicely detailed. Actual bolts. They're not 2D textures. You guys know how much that makes me happy. Our latch is just hanging. I assume that is supposed to go up there and you pop down. It's kind of entertaining. Maybe not. It's just how those latches look like they're supposed to be, but very nice looking locomotives. Overall, the texturing's kind of nice. The brass here is kind of yellow. Very yellow, like gold yellow. But overall, it looks really nice. All the doodads that go to the electric systems up here. Yeah, they're not modeled inside. When you place these down, though, they do come. It is a 3-part locomotive, so you got a front, a rear, and then the center. It is articulated, so this will all go walkie-like whenever we go around a corner. But you'll get that. Locomotive is really nicely detailed overall. The cars are a different story. The included stock is not horrible, but definitely not the same level. Almost like somebody else did the cars. And heck, you can even see it with the coupler here. There's a night and day difference. But this is one of the box cars that'll come with the Brown, the Heritage box car. A lot of 2D texturing. I don't kid. It's like a night and day difference. Lots of 3D modeling, lots of really nice texturing, and then boom, 2D. Yeah, the lettering's crispy. Okay, where it's due, but lots of photo texturing, 2D texturing. A lot of objects going on with them. I am going to take a look at this today as well, just for kind of shits and giggles, but not yet. This is not part of the pack. I will explain it in a minute. This is another. This is one of the coaches that'll come with the Brown. Again, kind of same story. A lot of 2D texturing, really faded color. And the overall model doesn't look bad. It's just, like I said, it's a night and day difference between the locomotive and the freight, or the rolling stock. It's like they finished the locomotive and just were like, alright, let's hurry up and get some rolling stock done and put it out. But yeah. Now this thing's kind of cool. This is an open air car. Again, 2D textures and whatnot, but everything looks pretty crispy. Yeah, the people are, alright. Bit creepy. But, you know, that's kind of most of Train Simulator's characters. They're a little bit odd. And then we'll get this one. Again, I have no idea what the differences are between all these cars, what they're actually called. I just know these are what you get. Same story, very faded, very 2D textury. And then a Pullman car. And again, 2D textures, very faded. And it really is wild, the difference in those, and then of course the locomotive. So we'll hop over here and take a peek at these. As I said, details, nothing really changes. Sounds, cab, it's all the same, just a different paint job. Really a good looking locomotive overall. Truth be told, I actually like the blue better. But I don't believe these wore this in active service. I believe they were actually brown most of the time. But, you know, such is life. The blue looks pretty good. Ignore that. And then the cars that come with it, the Pullman cars, like I said, it's like a night and day difference. They really just... That is awesome. Phenomenal. Lots of modeling going on. Lots of extras. And then the painfully obvious 2D texture window. Actually, they're not bad. By any means, they're not bad. But it's just... It's so noticeable how different they are. Model-wise. This is kind of a cool car. It's a diner. Most of these do have a mostly modeled interior, which is really cool. Actually, all of them have a mostly modeled interior. There's some like little gaps like here. I guess where the kitchen would be. I guess that's the kitchen. But it's a really pretty neat car. This little guy. So that's what you'll get in the 2 packs. Like I said, they are 2 separate packs. I don't see a reason for them to be 2 separate packs, so I almost caution you to pick one or the other. Like I said, I kind of got lucky. If I remember, I picked these up on sale. There's no way I paid full price for these. I never pay full price for DLC. But I watched them for a long time. They're really, really cool. It's hard to bite that bullet for the price tag. So yeah, my recommendation, definitely pick one or the other and see if you actually like it before you buy both of them. But yeah, really, really, really neat pack. Overall, the locomotive alone really kind of makes it a tasteful pack. Something a little bit different than the typical EMUs. I don't mean to hate on them, but EMUs are a dime a dozen in Train Simulator. It's just kind of boring. It's nice to see something different. So these are pretty cool. The lighting, I believe this is your backup light, so it's got a little bit of a red hue to it. Doesn't look half bad. These are our forward lighting. And the story on this car. So this is a charity car available on the Steam Workshop, or on the Steam DLC page. I don't how to be nice about it. It's not bad, but buy it on sale. I don't think it's entirely worth what they're asking for it. I got it on sale. I believe the summer sale. So I think it was like $9. For $9, this is all you're getting. For full price, I believe it's like $12 or $15. Again, this is literally all you're getting. It is one single car. Now it is pretty cool. It is a charity. It is a charity car. We'll pull it up here on the DLC page for giggles and squiggles, because why not? Actually, I do that when I just click on RhB Games here. Scroll down till I find it. Boom. So it's the FahrBAR. FahrBAR. That is how you would say that in English. So that is what we're calling it. I don't know how to pronounce that in Swiss. But it's the FahrBAR Charity Coach Pack. Yeah, it's $12.99, $9 on sale for the July sale. But that's a pretty cool idea. It's not the first time we've seen a charity pack like this before. For those of you that have been around for a hot minute, you'll remember the Project Platform, which is a really neat charity pack for a children's organization, if I remember right. But that was a whole, like, you got a whole route. You got a handful of really nice, well, really nice for the time, rolling stock locomotives. Lots of cool assets that can still be used today. I mean, it was a really nice pack for what you paid for. Not to trash on this, but this is just literally all you get. There's absolutely nothing else to it. It's one single car. It is a nice car. It is very well modeled. As you can see, it is started out as a postal wagon, and it's being repurposed into kind of a bar to go along with their kind of the heritage trains and whatnot. But it's a full restoration to turn it into a bar. Yeah, it's not a half bad idea. The money goes to these guys to help them actually go through with the restoration. And there's also a way, whenever you put this car into a scenario, you can have it'll have disco lights going on and music, or you can have it turned off, which I have it turned off because we're doing a review video and I don't want disco music bouncing along in the background. But it's a nice car overall. It really is. You know, you got 3D rivets, a lot of 3D parts. Matter of fact, this right here is more what I expected to go with this than 2D texture cars, but our characters are a little bit creepy. Very low res. This is kind of cool though. Kind of our sliding picture screen up here show different scenes and whatnot along the route that these would go, or that this car is intended to go on, I think. But it's a pretty neat one overall. So let's dive into As you can see, you start off, it's dead silent. It takes a second to figure this thing out, though. I will admit that. It definitely takes a second. So, let's see. Like I said, everything is in, well, most things are electric brake. That is English. And then we come over here to our train brake. That's not. Don't get to fiddle with that. This is our throttle. It's big ass wheel here. Yeah, I have no idea. I don't speak this language. Reverser. It's the part that kind of kills me. There are odd things that are very, it's pretty easy to figure out, but the rest of it you're just kind of left going, I don't know. But it is overall really, really neat. I will say, I typically have to just use the F4 HUD for this. So we do that. That gives us power. I can run the train without that from now on. I just need that to pick up our power. Let's be sure our tracks are set so that we don't slam into anything that we don't want to. Cool. Let's hop in it. So of course here's our reverse lever. Up and down, not left or right. Don't know what you are. Of course, electric brake, train brake, locomotive brake, question mark, I think. Windshield wipers, headlights, instrument lights. I have no idea what that does. I really don't. Headlights, I love the headlights. Those actually look really good. Now there is an unfortunate kind of a panoramic flare glare thing going on that I don't like, but other than that, absolutely love the headlights. It's a nice yellow kind of incandescent glow that just really, really looks good. Really does. Of course, our brakes. This is a neat little gimmick that goes to our speedometer here. Our whistle is right here. Whistle's not bad. It is pretty noticeable that it is recorded off of what sounds like some older audio. This is such a neat little gimmick right here, though. But ambient sounds is pretty good. You know, it's not gonna be loud. It is an electric. It's not really gonna change the audio all that much, but it sounds pretty good. There are windows here. Audio doesn't change with the windows open or closed. Yeah, it doesn't show the windows open on the outside either. So, got that. Oh, what else can we piddle with in here? Of course, our handbrake. I don't know what you are. I don't know what you are. I don't know what those do. This is the, in America, it'd be the dead man switch. So, if you don't fiddle with anything for a certain amount of time, this little thing will go to squealing. Chances are you're not going to hear that a whole lot. These routes are really, really challenging with the wild grades. So you'll be on and off the throttle here, but it is pretty cool to watch. And of course we hop to the outside. We watch it in motion. Audio doesn't really change inside and out for the whistle. Not bad. Definitely sounds older. Ah, we're gonna slam into that way harder than I want to. Because we are going downhill at a rapid pace. On a side note, trying to run this route, or any of the Swiss routes, you gotta really pay attention, because the grades change at the snap of a finger, and they're very extreme grade changes. Starting to level out a little bit here, but it'll, as you can see, very rapidly starts up, down, all the way around. It's kind of wild. Yeah, overall, this sounds really, really nice. These are 2 cab views. Nothing special. Hop to here. Head out view. And most of our cars have a car view. So like right now we're sitting in one of the coaches, either standing or sitting. Stuck staring at her. Audio's not half bad though. Gonna have us speeding for a second. We're gonna go around the corner up here. Luckily, it is fairly easy to run this locomotive and train set with a F4 HUD if you prefer it that way. There's 2 views for this car. Hop back here, out in the open air. We don't get to swap around, we're stuck standing. Oh, weird. Our characters are very odd. The audio is very different in that car. Of course, in the FahrBAR, we got a handful of different views. So are overall pretty nice. Shit, that's depressed. Oh. Let's get back here. But you know, the amount of views that you get with this car are really, really nice overall. I do like it. The detailing is pretty nice. The handrail's kind of low res. It's kind of weird, but whatever. It's not nice to point at people. I feel like it would have helped to have these characters maybe animated a little bit. And it didn't have to be wild, but something. And then of course we get to sit in the baggage car if we want to. I know, wild. Or the box car, but let's hop back up here. Boy, I bet they'd scare the snot out of somebody in the middle of the night. Let's see what happens when we take this out of gear. Now it's got a lot of notches, so it's pretty easy to fine-tune running this thing up and down. Cap light. That is the hard part about running the F4 HUD. It does have to go through the individual notches. it'll pick up and go pretty quick though. Of course, under power, it's going to hit about 55, 57. It won't get much higher. You can see that wild articulation going on there. As, like I said, it is an articulated locomotive. Like riding a roller coaster. I know we're going way too fast, but it's okay. See what happens with our handbrake. Turn the cab light off. I think that's all we get over here is the cab light. Oogity boogity, words I don't know. Yeah, that's how we get the cab light. Oops. Beep, beep, beep. That's the dead man switch going off. I'll throw a little bit of a fit. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say about it. Not a whole lot else. You know, overall, it is a really neat model. If you're into the Swiss stuff, it's definitely worth checking out. One or the other pack. Kind of gives you a little more flavor to these Swiss roots. A little bit more of a rolling stock flavor, but if you're into wonky electrics or just something different, these are, I think, definitely worth checking out. It's a really different side of Train Simulator. Narrow gauge electrics. It's not often that I go back to an electric, but this is one that I have thoroughly enjoyed. Actually, most of my exploration along a lot of these Swiss routes have been using one or the other Crocodile pack. I really do like them. I think they're pretty cool. Speaking of awful grade change, look at that drop. Yeah, we'll pull it into a stop up here. Now, the brakes won't engage. That is something I don't like. The brakes won't engage until you let off of your click. So you have to manipulate it and then let go of it. And then the brake will engage, which I'm not a fan of, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. Just slowly pull up to here. I believe this is the platform right here, actually. Right there. Maybe it's a road. Nah, it's a platform. She's standing there watching. So, anywho, there it is, guys. Yeah, the Swiss GE 6/6, along with the guest appearance of the FahrBAR car. Like I said, I picked these up from Just Trains, if I remember correctly. They're really, really neat. I definitely recommend checking out one or the other. I don't recommend buying both of them for the price that they're at. It's pretty expensive, but for what they are really, really cool. It gives you a little flavor to your Swiss roots. So definitely go check it out. They're really quite different, quite neat. Something odd to add to your collection if you don't already have something odd like this. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Saw something different, something you might not have known existed. As always, the link is in the description, and I will see you guys next time.